Sweat drips down Caden and Kira Jackson's faces in a packed Atlanta courtroom, July 2025, blazing outside. The 17-year-old black twins, shackled, blazers torn, stare up at Judge Victor Ramsey, his silver hair glinting as he sneers, 10 years for stealing that BMW. Their pleas drown in his gavel's crash. Suddenly the doors slam open. Federal Judge Lawrence Jackson storms in, badge flashing, roaring, "Those are my kids!" Ramsey freezes. What's next for the twins? Before we dive in, let us know where you're watching from. If you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe. Tomorrow's episode is unmissable. The humid Atlanta evening wraps Buckhead in a sticky haze, the upscale district's manicured lawns and gleaming storefronts glowing under a peach-streaked sky. Caden and Kira Jackson, 17 and buzzing with victory, glide through the streets. In their father's sleek black BMW, its engine humming a quiet tune, their gold debate team medals dangle from their necks, catching the last rays of sunlight, proof of their triumph at the state championship just hours ago at Westlake Academy. Caden grips the wheel, his lean frame relaxed in a crisp navy blazer, while Kira rides shotgun, her matching blazer unbuttoned over a white blouse, scrolling through congratulatory texts from their teammates. Their laughter bounces off the leather interior, a rare moment of ease for two kids who've spent years clawing their way to the top of a school where most faces don't look like theirs. Caden adjusts the rearview mirror, catching a glimpse of his sister's grin, her braids swinging as she mimics their opponent's flustered closing argument. "We crushed them, Kay," she says, voice bright with pride, and he nods, knuckles tapping the steering wheel to an unheard beat, already dreaming of the law school acceptance letters he's chasing. 3 miles from home, the air shifts. A sudden wail pierces the calm red and blue lights exploding in the mirrors like fireworks gone wrong. Caden's stomach tightens, but he keeps his cool, easing the car to the curb, tires crunching gravel on a quiet stretch of Peachtree Road. "Just stay chill," he mutters, more to himself than Kira, who's already tucking her phone away, her smile fading into something wary. The patrol car screeches to a halt behind them, its headlights bathing the BMW in a harsh glare. 2 officers step out, boots thudding against asphalt, their silhouettes looming as they approach. Officer Holt, a thick-necked brute with a buzz, cut and a permanent scowl, leads the charge, his flashlight swinging like a club. Officer Perry, wiry and twitchy, follows close, hand resting on his holster, eyes glinting with something dark. Caden rolls down the window, the muggy air rushing in, and offers a tight, "Evening, officers," his voice steady despite the pulse hammering in his throat. Holt's beam stabs into his face, blinding him, and the cop barks, "Out of the car now." Kira leans forward, her tone sharp but controlled. "Can you tell us why we weren't speeding?" Perry's laugh cuts through, jagged and mean. "You don't get to ask questions, princess. Move it." Caden's jaw clenches, but he nods at Kira, signaling compliance. They've had the talk with their parents too many times, know the drill. Hands visible, no sudden moves. He steps out first, palms up, the metal clinking against his chest, and Holt's meaty hand slams into his shoulder, spinning him around, smashing his cheek into the scalding hood. Pain flares hot and sharp, blood trickling from a split lip as he grunts, "I'm not resisting." Kira's door flies open, and she's on her feet, shouting, "Get off him! We didn't do anything!" Perry grabs her arm, twisting it behind, her back forcing a cry from her lips as he snaps cuffs around her wrists, the metal biting into her skin. "Shut it," he snarls, shoving her against the car next to Caden, her metal ripping free and hitting the pavement with a dull clink. Holt's knee digs into Caden's spine, pinning him as he yanks his arms back, cuffs clicking tight, the steel cold against his wrists. "This your car, huh?" Holt growls, his breath sour with coffee and spite. "Yeah, it's our dad's," Caden spits out, tasting copper. "Judge Lawrence Jackson. Check the registration." Perry snorts, kicking Kira's medal into the gutter, where it lands in a puddle of filth, gold dulled by grime. "Nice try, thieves. Bet you boosted it from some rich white guy's garage." Kira's voice trembles with fury. "We've got IDs. Look in my bag." Holt rummages through her backpack, tossing books and her wallet onto the ground, pages fluttering in the breeze, but he doesn't check. He just laughs. Forged, probably. The officers exchange a glance, a silent pact sealed in their smirks, and Holt hauls Caden up, slamming him into the BMW's side, the impact rattling his teeth. Perry drags Kira by her braids, her scalp burning as she stumbles, tears pricking her eyes but refusing to fall. Neighbors peek from behind curtains, some filming with phones, others muttering, "Shouldn't be driving that around here." White woman in a yoga outfit steps onto her porch, arms crossed, nodding approvingly at the cops like they're heroes cleaning up her street. Caden catches her eye, his chest heaving, and she looks away, guilt flickering before she retreats inside. The patrol car's back door gapes open, and Holt shoves Caden in, his head banging against the frame, stars bursting behind his eyes. Perry tosses Kira in after, her shoulder slamming into the hard plastic seat, a bruise blooming beneath her blouse. The doors slam shut, trapping them in a cage of stale air and flickering lights, the stench of sweat and fear soaking into their skin. Outside, Holt picks up Caden's medal, twirling it between his fingers before chucking it into the storm drain, the gold vanishing into darkness. Evidence, he calls it, grinning at Perry, who's already radioing in. Caught two punks in a stolen Beamer heading to the precinct. Kira presses her forehead against the window, watching the BMW shrink as they pull away, its sleek lines a silhouette against the dusk. "They're lying," she whispers, voice cracking, and Caden nods, his split lip throbbing. "We'll prove it. Dad'll fix this." But his words feel thin, swallowed by the engine's roar as the car speeds toward downtown, the city lights blurring into streaks of red and gold. The cuffs dig deeper, a constant ache, and Kira's mind races, replaying every move, every word, searching for where it went wrong. They'd followed the rules, kept their heads down, excelled beyond anyone's expectations, yet here they are, reduced to nothing in the eyes of men who see only skin, not medals, not futures. Caden shifts, his knee brushing hers, a silent anchor in the chaos, and she clings to it, her breath steadying. The precinct looms ahead, a squat concrete fortress glowing under harsh sodium lamps, its shadow swallowing the patrol car as it rolls to a stop. Holt and Perry climb out, their boots echoing on the pavement, and Caden mutters, "This isn't over," his voice a low burn, defiance flickering beneath the pain. Kira nods, her eyes narrowing. Not even close. The doors yank open, and they're dragged into the night, the humid air slapping their faces as the precinct's maw waits to devour them whole. What started as a victory lap has spiraled into a nightmare, and the twins know deep in their bones this is just the beginning of a fight they never asked for, one that'll test every ounce of their strength, every shred of their hope, in a world rigged to break them. The precinct cell reeks of stale urine and bleach, a concrete box with flickering fluorescent lights that buzz like trapped flies overhead. Caden paces the 8-foot space, his dress shoes scuffing the grimy floor, fists clenched so tight his knuckles ache. The cuff's red mark still raw on his wrists. Kira sits on the edge of a metal bench bolted to the wall, her bruised arm throbbing under her torn blazer, replaying the arrest in her mind. Holt's knee in Caden's back, Perry's grip on her braids, the medals sinking into the gutter. What kind of justice lets this happen? She presses her palms into her thighs, nails digging into the fabric, trying to anchor herself as the cell's cold seeps through her bones. Caden stops, slamming a hand against the bars, the clang echoing down. "The hall, we didn't do anything." "How do they get away with this?" His voice cracks, anger and disbelief tangling together, but no one answers. The hall stays silent except for the drip of a leaky faucet somewhere out of sight. Beyond the bars, Officers Holt and Perry huddle. At a desk cluttered with coffee cups and crumpled reports, their laughter bouncing off the precinct's peeling walls. Holt flips through a notepad, his thick fingers smudging ink as he scribbles. "Found a 9mm under the driver's seat. Armed robbery in progress." Perry grins, pulling a rusted handgun from an evidence bag, its grip chipped and scratched, nothing like the pristine BMW's interior. "Perfect fit for those punks," he says, sliding it back into the bag with a wink. "Judge'll eat this up." They don't check the car's registration, don't call Lawrence Jackson. They just nod, sealing the lie with a shared smirk, their badges glinting under the harsh light like medals of their own. Kira catches the exchange through the bars, her stomach twisting. They're setting us up, Caden. That gun's not ours. He spins to face her, eyes blazing. No kidding. We've got to get Mom here, she'll tell Dad. He bangs the bars again, shouting, "We need a phone call." A shadow looms as Desk Sergeant Vickers lumbers over, a paunchy ex-cop with a greying mustache and a sneer that curls his lip. "Pipe down, felons," he snaps, tapping a baton against his palm, the wood scarred from years of use. Kira stands, her voice steady despite the tremor in her chest. "We're not felons. We're minors. We get a call." Vickers leans in, his breath sour with tobacco. "You don't get squat. Shouldn't have been joyriding in Daddy's fancy car if he even exists." The venom in his words stings, a slap of racism so casual it's chilling. He doesn't see debate champs, just black kids who don't belong. Caden's fists tighten. "Check the ID, our dad's a federal judge." Vickers chuckles, turning away. "Sure he is, and I'm the governor." The cell door stays shut, the bars a cold cage locking them in with their rage. Minutes crawl by, the clock on the wall ticking past 10 p.m., each second a hammer blow to their hope. Kira sinks, back onto the bench, pulling her knees up. They're not even pretending to care. Caden nods, pacing again, his shadow stretching long across the stained concrete. We've got to fight this somehow. Out in the precinct lobby, Erica Jackson bursts through the double doors, her nurse's scrubs wrinkled from a 12-hour shift at Grady Memorial, her dark curls wild from running. She clutches her phone, Lawrence's number already dialed, and strides to the front desk. "I'm here for my kids, Caden and Kira Jackson. Where are they?" Vickers looks up from his sandwich, mayo smearing his fingers, and leans back in his chair. "No visitors for felons, lady. They're in deep, stole a car, had a gun." Erica's eyes narrow, her voice cutting like a scalpel. "That's my husband's BMW, registered to Judge Lawrence Jackson. Let me see them now." Vickers wipes his hands on his pants, standing. Slow, his bulk filling the space. "Don't care who you say you are, no proof, no entry, beat it." He points to the door, his smirk daring her to argue, and she steps closer. "You're making a mistake. Call the judge, he'll confirm it." Vickers crosses his arms. "Felons don't get calls till morning, rules are rules." Erica's hands shake, but she dials Lawrence again, the line ringing endlessly as he's stuck in a late meeting, oblivious to the chaos swallowing his family. She slams the phone down. "This is racial profiling, and you know it." Vickers shrugs. "Take it up with the judge tomorrow if they make it that far." The threat hangs heavy, a promise of worse to come, and Erica storms out, vowing to return with hellfire. Back in the cell, Caden stops pacing, leaning against the bars. "Mom will get Dad, he'll fix this." Kira nods, but her eyes flicker to the gun bag on Holt's desk, now tagged with their names. "If they don't bury us first." Holt overhears, sauntering over. "Smart girl. That piece ties you to a robbery 3 blocks from where we nabbed you." Witnesses saw 2 black kids, fits perfect. Perry joins him, twirling his cuffs. "Judge Ramsey loves a good lock-up story, especially for your kind." The words drip with malice, a script they've run 100 times, and Caden's blood boils. "You planted it, you liars." Holt's fist slams the bars, rattling them. "Keep talking, punk, see where it gets you." Kira grabs Caden's arm, pulling him back, her whisper urgent. "They want us to snap, don't give them more." "Ammo." He breathes hard, nodding, but the fire in his chest doesn't dim. It grows, a furnace stoked by every sneer, every lie. The gun's presence locks their fate tighter, a felony charge no scholarship can outrun, no debate win can erase. Kira's mind races. How do we prove it's fake? Who's watching the cameras? Caden glances at the precinct's ceiling, spotting a dusty security lens. If that's recording, we've got a shot. But Holt follows his gaze, smirking. "Oh, that? Been busted for months. Budget cuts, you know." The lie's too smooth, and Kira's heart sinks. They're alone, evidence piling against them in a system that's already decided their guilt. The cell grows smaller, the air thicker, despair creeping in like damp rot. Caden slumps beside her, shoulder brushing hers. "We're not done, Kay. We've beaten worse odds." She nods, clinging to that thread, but the weight of Holt's fabricated report presses down, a noose tightening with every tick of the clock. What's next when the law itself turns predator? Drop a comment with number 1 if you think these cops should face justice for framing the twins. Hit like if you're raging at this setup. And subscribe because the next twist will blow your mind. Can Caden and Kira claw their way out of this trap? Or will Judge Ramsey's gavel crush them? First, the Atlanta courtroom buzzes with restless energy on a blistering July morning, the air thick with humidity and the sour tang of anticipation. Caden and Kira Jackson stand at the defendant's table, their wrists chafed from cuffs now swapped. Sever itchy orange jumpsuits, the fabric clinging to their sweat-soaked skin. 2 days have blurred since the arrest, a whirlwind of sleepless nights and whispered plans in the precinct cell. And now they face Judge Victor Ramsey, a hulking figure, perched high on the bench, his silver hair slicked back, eyes glinting like a hawk spotting prey. The gallery's packed 60-odd spectators crammed shoulder to shoulder, some in pressed suits, others in faded tees, all murmuring as the twins shuffle forward, flanked by a jittery public defender named Ellis, a 20-something with a cheap tie and a stack of files he can barely hold. Caden's jaw tightens, his split lip still tender, while Kira stands rigid, her bruised arm hidden under the jumpsuit sleeve, her braids pulled back tight to mask the chaos she feels inside. Ramsey bangs his gavel, the crack slicing through the noise, and the room snaps to silence, every eye locked on him. Case number 783, State versus Jackson and Jackson, the bailiff drones, voice flat as he steps back, leaving the twins exposed under the judge's glare. Ramsey leans forward, his weathered hands flipping through the fabricated report. Holt and Perry's lies typed neat in black ink. Stolen BMW, armed robbery, 9mm found. He doesn't look at the twins, not yet. He smirks at the paper, as if it's all the proof he needs. Well, well, he drawls, voice gravelly with 30 years of unchallenged power. What have we got here? Ellis clears his throat, fumbling. With his notes, Your Honor, my clients assert their innocence. The vehicle belongs to their father, a respected... Ramsey cuts him off with a snort, finally lifting his gaze, cold and piercing. Save it, counselor. I've heard every sob story in this town. He zeroes in on Caden and Kira, his lips curling into a sneer that deepens the lines on his face. You two think you're special, don't you? Parading around Buckhead in a car you couldn't afford in a lifetime. Caden's fists clench under the table, nails biting into his palms. It's our dad's car, sir. We won debate medals that day. Not stole anything. Ramsey's eyebrows shoot up, mock surprise etching his features. Medals? Oh, let me guess, you stole those too, right? He grabs the evidence bag with their dented gold awards, fished from the gutter by some underpaid clerk, and dangles it like trash. Probably lifted these from a pawn shop to impress your little friends. The gallery ripples with snickers. A dozen heads nodding, a white guy in a polo shirt whispering, "Typical," loud enough to sting. Kira steps forward, her voice trembling but firm. We earned those at Westlake Academy. Check the records. Ramsey's laugh booms, harsh and guttural, bouncing off the wood-paneled walls. Westlake? You don't belong in a place like that, sweetheart. Thugs like you belong behind bars, not in classrooms. The word thugs lands like a punch. And Caden's chest burns. We're not criminals, you're wrong. Ellis stammers. Objection, Your Honor, there's no evidence. But Ramsey slams the gavel again. Overruled, I've seen enough. You kids think you can play innocent? I've locked up 100 just like you, and I'll do it again. The crowd shifts, some cheering, others squirming. A black woman in the back shaking her head but staying silent, fear sealing her lips. Ramsey flips the report shut, his fingers wrapping around the gavel's handle. This is my courtroom, and I say you're guilty. Armed robbery, grand theft auto, 10 years, each no parole. Kira's knees buckle, her breath catching. 10 years? That's insane. Call our dad. Ramsey smirks. Daddy can't save you now, princess. Should have thought twice before stealing from decent folks. Ellis protests, voice cracking. Your Honor, the registration, the gun's provenance, it's all suspect. But Ramsey waves him off. Heard it, don't care. Sentence stands. The gavel rises, time slowing as Caden locks eyes with Kira, their futures crumbling in the span of a heartbeat. Every debate win, every late-night study session, every dream of law and medicine dissolving into dust. The woods about to strike. When the courtroom doors slam open with a thunderous boom, hinges groaning under the force, a tall figure strides in, tailored suit crisp against the chaos, federal badge flashing gold in the fluorescent light. Judge Lawrence Jackson's voice roars deep and commanding. "You just convicted my kids, Victor." The gallery gasps, a collective intake of breath as heads whip around, eyes wide, mouths gaping. Ramsey freezes, gavel hovering mid-air, his face draining to a sickly grey, the smugness evaporating like steam off a hot street. Caden's heart leaps. "Dad!" spilling from his lips while Kira grips the table, tears pricking her eyes, relief flooding her veins. Lawrence marches down the aisle, his polished shoes clicking against the floor, every step a seismic shift. "Caden and Kira Jackson are my children, and that BMW's mine, registered in my name." "You've got no case!" The crowd erupts, whispers turning to shouts, a reporter in the back scribbling furiously, another fumbling for his phone. Holt and Perry, lurking by the exit, stiffen, their swagger fading as Lawrence's glare cuts through them. Ramsey's hand trembles, the gavel slipping an inch. How was I supposed to know?" he stammers, voice thin, the titan reduced to a cornered man. Lawrence towers at the bench's edge. "You didn't ask, didn't check, just assumed. Step off that bench now." Ellis gapes, papers fluttering from his hands, while Caden and Kira exchange a look, hope sparking where despair had rooted moments ago. The bailiff hesitates, unsure who to obey as Ramsey sputters, "This is my court, you can't—" But Lawrence's growl cuts him off. "It's over, Victor. Release them." The gavel clatters to the desk, a hollow thud, and Ramsey slumps back, sweat beading on his brow, his empire cracking under the weight of his own prejudice. Caden breathes, "We're free." And Kira nods, clutching his arm, the orange jumpsuits, suddenly lighter, the air less suffocating. They think it's done, the nightmare shattered by their father's power, but Ramsey's eyes narrow, a flicker of venom promising this isn't the end, not by a long shot. The twins step back, Lawrence, shielding them, unaware that this victory is a fleeting mirage, a spark about to ignite a firestorm they can't yet see. The clock ticks past 3 p.m. as Caden and Kira Jackson stumble out of the Atlanta courthouse, the July sun scorching the steps beneath their feet, their orange jumpsuits swapped for the torn blazers they wore days ago. Lawrence Jackson, their father, towers beside them, his federal judge's badge still pinned to his suit, his face a mask of fury and relief as he guides them through a throng of flashing cameras and shouting reporters. Caden's split lip stings with every breath, and Kira's bruised arm aches under her sleeve, but they hold their heads high, medals dangling again, reclaimed from the evidence room like trophies of survival. "You're safe now," Lawrence says, his deep voice steady, cutting through the chaos. "I'm ending Ramsey's career for this." The twins nod, Caden's fists unclenching for the first time in 48 hours, Kira's shoulders easing as they pile into his sedan, the courthouse shrinking in the rearview mirror. Home looms ahead, a 2-story brick haven in Vinings, its wraparound porch a promise of rest after the nightmare. Inside, the air's cool, scented with lemon polish, and Erica, their mum, rushes from the kitchen, her nurse's scrub swapped for a soft cardigan, pulling them into a hug that smells of lavender and hospital antiseptic. "My babies," she whispers, tears soaking Caden's collar, and he hugs back, "We're okay, Mum." Kira sinks into the couch, exhaustion crashing over her. "Dad fixed it." Lawrence paces, phone already pressed to his ear, barking orders to his clerk. "File the misconduct charge against Ramsey tonight. I want him off that bench by Monday." The twins exchange a glance, a flicker of hope igniting. Maybe the system can bend toward justice after all. But the peace shatters at 6:17 p.m., a deafening crash exploding through the living room as a brick smashes the bay window, glass spraying across the hardwood like jagged confetti. Caden ducks, shielding Kira, who gasps as a crumpled note flutters to the floor, scrawled in block letters. "Stay in your lane, Judge." Erica screams, clutching her chest, while Lawrence snatches the paper, his jaw tightening. "Ramsey!" Outside, tires squeal as a pickup peels away, its tailgate vanishing into the dusk, leaving neighbors peering from porches, some curious, others smirking. Caden bolts to the window, glass crunching under his shoes. They're gone, but the threat lingers, a venomous promise in the humid air. By 7, news vans clog the street, their satellite dishes sprouting like weeds. Reporters swarming with microphones thrust forward, voices overlapping in a frantic chorus. Channel 5's anchor, a blonde in a crisp blazer, beams into her. Camera, breaking news. Federal Judge Lawrence Jackson's kids, caught red-handed in a stolen BMW freed by daddy's influence. Caden's stomach drops. That's not what happened. Kira grabs the remote, flipping channels, but every station spins the same lie. Fox paints them as privileged brats. CNN calls it a judicial scandal. Local WSB twists Holt and Perry's arrest into heroic policing. Lawrence storms in. Turn it off, but it's too late. The damage seeps through the screen. At 8, Ramsey's counterattack lands, a grainy dashcam video hitting every news site, doctored to show Caden lunging at Holt, his fist raised. In a blur of edited pixels, the cop's baton strikes erased. Perry's cuffing of Kira cut to look like self-defense. The real footage, the brutality, the medals in the gutter, all gone, replaced by a slick lie that spreads like wildfire. Social media ignites, hashtags trending. Jackson criminals, thug twins, thousands of comments flooding in. Lock them up. Again, and typical entitlement. Caden's phone buzzes, a text from Duke University. Due to recent events, we're rescinding your admission offer. His breath catches. No, no, no. Fingers trembling as he scrolls. Morehouse, and Emory following suit. Their law school dreams crumbling in seconds. Kira's inbox pings. Emory's med school retracting her early acceptance. Unfit character, the email reads, and she hurls her phone across the room, the crack of it hitting the wall, echoing her scream. They're ruining us. Lawrence slams his laptop shut. Ramsey's behind this. He's got allies everywhere. Erica kneels by Kira. We'll fight it. But her voice wavers, fear creeping in as the TV blares on, Ramsey's face filling the screen, his silver hair gleaming under studio lights. I stand by my ruling, he says, smirking into the camera. No one's above the law, not even a judge's spoiled kids. The anchor nods. Sources say the precinct's doubling down, claiming the twins resisted arrest. Caden's fists ball up. He's lying through his teeth. Lawrence grabs his keys. I'm calling the FBI. This ends now. But the phone lines jam, static hissing as if the world's conspiring against them. By midnight, the twins sit in the dark, the house quiet except for the hum of news choppers. Circling overhead, their spotlight beams slicing through the blinds. Kira stares at the brick. He's not stopping, is he? Caden shakes his head. He's just getting started. Outside, shadows move. Holt and Perry leaning against their patrol car 2 blocks away. Radios crackling with orders from Ramsey's cronies. Teach them a lesson they won't forget. The twins think Lawrence's power has saved them, that the courtroom win cracked Ramsey's armor. But the brick, the video, the lost futures prove otherwise. This is war and Ramsey's playing dirty, his allies in the precinct grinning as they plot the next strike. Caden's law school dreams, Kira's med school hopes, their very names now smeared across Atlanta, all hang in the balance, and the night stretches on, heavy with the promise of worse to come. Drop a comment with number 1 if you think Ramsey's smear campaign deserves to backfire. Hit like if you're boiling at this injustice and subscribe because the next blow will leave you speechless. What happens when Ramsey's revenge turns deadly? The Atlanta skyline glows faint against a bruised dusk, 3 days after the courtroom chaos. The July heat still clinging to the asphalt as Caden and Kira Jackson climb into their father's sedan, their torn blazers swapped for hoodies, hoods pulled low to dodge the news choppers buzzing overhead. Lawrence grips the wheel, his knuckles tight against the leather, jaw set as he weaves through Vinings toward downtown. His federal badge tucked in his pocket, a silent vow to reclaim their lives. Press conference at 6, he says, voice clipped. We're clearing your names tonight. Caden slumps in the back, his split lip scabbing over, scrolling through hate-filled tweets on a burner phone, each one a knife twist. Thug twins deserve worse. Kira rides shotgun, her bruised arm bandaged under her sleeve, staring out at the passing oaks, their branches swaying like witnesses to their unraveling world. "They'll listen, right?" she asks, her tone brittle, and Lawrence nods. "They'll have to. I've got the real dashcam footage." The promise hangs heavy, a lifeline after the brick. The smear campaign, the lost futures. This is their shot to flip the script. Traffic thins as they hit I-75, the Chattahoochee River glinting. Silver to their left, its bridge a hulking shadow ahead. Headlights flare in the rear view, too close, too fast, and Caden squints. "That SUV's tailing us." Lawrence frowns. Probably press, but his foot eases off the gas, testing. The black SUV surges, engine roaring, and slams into their rear bumper with a bone-rattling crunch, metal screaming as the sedan lurches forward. Kira gasps, gripping the dash. "Dad!" Lawrence swerves, tires screeching. "Hold on!" But the SUV rams again, harder, shoving them toward the bridge's edge. Caden's phone clatters to the floor. "They're trying to kill us!" The third hit sends the sedan spinning, glass shattering as it smashes through the guardrail, plunging 15 feet into the river below, water exploding around them in a frigid roar. The car sinks fast, icy currents flooding through broken windows, soaking Caden's legs as he kicks at the door. "We're trapped." Kira claws at her seatbelt, lungs burning as the water rises to her chest. "Get out, now!" Lawrence slams, his shoulder against his door, popping it open, and drags Kira free, her hoodie snagging on jagged metal, tearing as she surfaces, gasping. Caden follows, coughing, the river's pull dragging at his limbs, but headlights stab through the dusk above, pinning them like prey. 3 masked figures rappel down the bank, boots splashing into the shallows, their silhouettes hulking against the bridge's underbelly. Caden staggers to his feet. "Run!" But a fist crashes into his jaw, dropping him face first into the mud, blood mixing with the silt. Kira screams, lunging for him, but a gloved hand grabs her throat, slamming her. Against a pylon, concrete scraping her back raw. "Ramsey says hello," a voice rasps, low and guttural, breath hot against her ear as steel-toed boots pound her ribs, each kick a thunderclap of pain. Caden groans, crawling toward her, but a bat swings down, cracking his skull, lights bursting. Behind his eyes as he collapses unconscious, river water lapping at his face. Lawrence roars, charging the third thug, tackling him into the shallows, fists flying. But a fourth figure emerges, unseen, and cracks a pipe across his spine, dropping him with a howl. Kira's vision blurs, blood dripping from her nose. "Stop, please." But the leader kneels, yanking her head back by her braids. "You don't get to win, princess." He punches her gut, air rushing out in a choked sob, and she crumples, clutching the mud, Caden's limp form 5 feet away. The attackers loom, their masks featureless, black voids of hate. And the leader pulls a knife, its blade glinting as he carves a shallow R into Kira's forearm, her scream piercing the night. Lawrence crawls, dragging his battered body. "Leave them alone!" But a boot stomps his hand, bones crunching, and the pipe swings again, knocking him out cold. The thugs step back, job done, and vanish into the trees, their SUV peeling off with a screech, leaving the Jacksons broken. On the riverbank, the water red with their blood. Minutes tick by. The river's gurgle the only sound until headlights sweep the scene again. A pickup this time. Not press, but a fisherman named Tate, his grizzled face paling as he spots the carnage. "Jesus," he mutters, dialing 911. 3 people down by the Chattahoochee, looks bad. Sirens wail in the distance as he kneels by Caden, pressing a rag to his head. "Hang on, kid." Kira stirs, coughing blood, dragging herself to her brother. "Caden, wake up!" His eyes flutter, a groan escaping, and she grips his hand, tears cutting tracks through the mud on her face. Lawrence groans awake, clutching his ribs. "Where'd they go?" Tate shakes his head. "Gone. But cops are coming." The patrol car arrives, blue lights pulsing, and officers Holt and Perry step out, their faces twisting into smirks as they survey the scene. "Well, well," Holt says, kicking Caden's leg. "Looks like gang retaliation. Told you they're trouble." Perry nods, radioing in. Victims match the Jackson twins, probably their crew turning on them. Kira's voice rasps, "No, it was Ramsey's men." But Holt laughs, "Sure, blame the judge. You're lucky we don't cuff you right here." Tate frowns. "They're hurt, man. Ease up." but Perry shoves him back. Mind your business. Old-timer. Lawrence staggers up, blood streaking his suit. You're covering for him, I'll prove it, but Holt's smirk widens. Good luck with that, Your Honor. The cops saunter off, leaving the fishermen to flag down paramedics who swarm in, stretchers rattling as they load the twins and Lawrence, the riverbank now a crime scene glowing under floodlights. Caden's head lolls. They knew us, he mumbles, and Kira nods, the R on her arm burning. This is war. Lawrence grips their hands from his stretcher. We're not done. But his voice shakes, the ambush proving Ramsey's reach is deeper, deadlier than they feared, a message carved in blood that their press conference dreams are ash, replaced by a fight for survival against a man who'd rather see them dead than defeated. The fluorescent hum of Grady Memorial Hospital fills the sterile room where Caden and Kira Jackson slump in plastic chairs, their bruises stark under the harsh light, 3 days after the riverbank ambush. Caden's head throbs, a bandage wrapping. His skull where the bat cracked it, his hoodie swapped for a grey tee stiff with dried sweat. Kira sits beside him, her arm in a sling, the R carved by Ramsey's thug scabbed over, her eyes hollow as she stares at the linoleum, the hospital's antiseptic sting burning her nose. Lawrence Jackson storms in, his suit rumpled, a limp favoring his cracked ribs, his federal badge glinting as he clutches a USB drive. We've got them. His voice cuts through the haze, sharp with triumph, and Caden lifts his head. What? Lawrence kneels, eyes blazing. Precinct security footage, Holt planting the gun in the BMW. It's over. Kira's breath catches. For real? He nods. Filed a federal lawsuit this morning against Ramsey, Holt, Perry, the whole damn precinct. They're finished. The twins exchange a glance, a spark flickering where despair had rooted. Maybe the nightmare's breaking. By noon, they're in a federal courthouse downtown, a sleek marble chamber far from Ramsey's grimy domain, the air cool and heavy with authority. Judge Elena Ortiz presides, a stern woman with jet-black hair and a no-nonsense stare, her robe crisp as she flips through Lawrence's evidence. Caden and Kira stand at the plaintiff's table, their bandages on display, a silent testament to the ambush's toll. Lawrence lays it out, voice steady. Your Honor, this footage shows officers Holt and Perry falsifying evidence against my children, a direct violation of their rights, orchestrated by Judge Victor Ramsey. He plugs the USB into a laptop, projecting grainy video. Holt slipping the rusted gun under the BMW seat, Perry chuckling as Vickers watches, all caught on a precinct camera Ramsey claimed was busted. The room gasps, reporters in the gallery scribbling, a black bailiff nodding grimly. Ortiz's eyes narrow. This is damning. Caden steps forward, voice raw. They beat us, framed us, nearly killed us, all because we're black and Ramsey. Hates my dad. Kira adds, look at my arm, that's his mark. She rolls up her sleeve, the R red and jagged, and the gallery murmurs, a white clerk wincing, a juror's jaw dropping. Ortiz slams her gavel. Enough, I'm suspending. Judge Ramsey pending a full investigation. Officers too, case adjourned. Cheers erupt. Caden's fists unclench, and Kira hugs him, tears streaking her face. We did it, Kay. Lawrence pulls them close. Justice isn't dead yet. The trio exits to applause, reporters swarming, cameras flashing as they step into the humid afternoon, the sun a rare ally after days of darkness. At home in Vinings by 6 p.m., the mood's lighter. Erica bustling in the kitchen, her recovery slow but steady, a roast simmering as she hums. We're celebrating tonight. Caden grins. First win in forever, and Kira nods. Maybe college'll take us back. Lawrence pours water into crystal glasses. Ramsey's done, I'll make sure of it. The TV hums low, a news ticker scrolling. Judge Ramsey suspended amid scandal. They clink glasses, the chime of fragile hope. And for a moment the brick, the ambush, the smears fade, replaced by a taste of victory, fleeting but sweet. Night falls, the house quiet save for crickets chirping beyond the patched window. Caden, sprawled on the couch, Kira sketching in a notebook, their scars a map of survival. At 11:32 p.m. the world explodes, a deafening boom shattering the silence as the kitchen bursts into flames, a fireball roaring through the house, hurling Caden against the wall, his ears ringing. Kira screams, diving under the table. As plaster rains, the air thick with smoke and the acrid bite of gas. "Mom," she chokes, crawling toward the kitchen, where Erica's silhouette staggers, then collapses, flames licking her cardigan. Lawrence lurches from the hall. "Get out!" But the ceiling buckles, beams crashing as he drags Erica's limp form, her skin blistered, pulse faint. Caden stumbles up, hauling Kira with him. "The gas line!" They burst onto the lawn, coughing. The house an inferno behind them, orange tongues devouring their refuge. Sirens wail, neighbors gawking as firefighters swarm, hoses blasting, but the damage is done. Erica whisked to an ambulance, her breath shallow, monitors beeping chaos. Caden's knees buckle. "She was fine, how—" Kira clutches his arm. "Ramsey!" Lawrence stares at the blaze, fists shaking. "He rigged it, that bastard!" By midnight, Channel 5's on scene, the blonde anchor back, her voice slick. Tragic coincidence at Judge Jackson's home, a gas leak explosion, one injured. Ramsey appears next, live from his office, silver hair gleaming. Awful shame, thoughts with the family, his smirk a dagger through the screen. Caden's blood boils. He's mocking us. Kira's eyes harden, the R on her arm. Pulsing. He's not suspended, he's untouchable. Lawrence dials the FBI. "It's arson, check the lines." But the agent's voice crackles. "No proof yet, Judge." Firefighters douse the last flames, the house a charred skeleton. Their medals, books, dreams reduced to ash. Paramedics wheel Erica away, critical, her survival a coin toss, and the twins collapse on the curb, soot-streaked, realizing their courtroom win was a trap, a spark that lit Ramsey's fuse. Holt and Perry cruise by, smirking from their patrol car. "Rough night, huh?" And Caden lunges, Lawrence yanking him back. "Not now." Kira whispers, "They'll pay." But the victory's gone, replaced by a smoldering ruin. Ramsey's revenge proving he'll burn their world to keep his power, leaving them with nothing but rage and a mother fighting for her life. Drop a comment with number 1 if you think Ramsey's gone too far with this fire. Hit like if you're stunned by his cruelty, and subscribe because the next chapter's a wild ride. Can the twins survive when Ramsey turns their win into ashes? The Vining's safe house hums with tension under a moonless July sky. Its peeling paint and sagging porch a far cry from the Jacksons' charred home, now a smouldering memory 2 days gone. Caden and Kira huddle inside, their bruises purpled under. Dim lamplight, Caden's bandaged head aching as he paces the creaky floorboards. Kira's sling tight against her chest, the R-scar itching beneath. Lawrence limps between them, his cracked ribs taped, suit swapped for a worn flannel, his phone pressed to his ear. FBI's got the explosion on radar, but Ramsey's still free. Erica lies in ICU 10 miles away, tubes snaking from her. Arms, her survival a fragile thread after the gas blast, and the twins feel her absence like a missing limb. Caden kicks a chair. "He burned our house, almost killed Mom, and they're doing nothing." Kira nods. "We're sitting ducks here." Lawrence pockets the phone. "Not for long. We're fighting back." But the TV flickers on, WSB breaking. News cutting through. Jackson twins, armed and dangerous, wanted after alleged threats. Caden freezes. "What?" The screen flashes their mugshots, orange jumpsuits glaring, a fake 911 call claiming they shot at cops, Holt's voice distorted. But smug in the background. Kira's stomach twists. "They're hunting us now." Lawrence grabs a duffel. "We move now." They pile into a beat-up Toyota, the sedan's remains impounded, and peel out, tires crunching gravel as sirens wail in the distance. By dawn, Atlanta's awake, the manhunt in full swing, SWAT teams storming Westlake Academy. Their school a war zone as armored boots trample the halls, classmates scatter, phones out. Twin thugs trending again as a girl Caden tutored tweets, "Always." Knew they were trouble. Her words a betrayal sharper than the ambush. Kira's jaw clenches. "They're turning everyone against us." Lawrence weaves through backroads. "Ramsey's pulling strings, but I've got a plan." They ditch the car in a wooded lot near Decatur, trekking to a friend's basement, a damp hole with moldy walls and a single bulb swaying overhead. Caden slumps against a crate. How'd it get this bad? Kira shrugs. Ramsey's not done till we're gone. Lawrence nods. He's got the precinct, but not me. Hours grind by, the twins restless, until Caden cracks open an old laptop, his fingers flying as he hacks into the precinct's server. If they're framing us, there's proof. Lines of code scroll, his eyes narrowing. Got it, Ramsey's payoffs to Holt 10 grand a pop. Kira leans in. That's our ammo. Lawrence grins. Good work, we'll bury them. But the basement window shatters, glass spraying. As a sniper's bullet rips through, grazing Kira's good arm, blood blooming on her sleeve. She screams, dropping. They found us. Caden dives, dragging her behind a couch. How? Lawrence yanks a pistol from the duffel. Out the... Back! Footsteps thud outside, shadows circling, and they bolt through a rickety door into the woods, branches clawing their skin as gunfire cracks the night. Bullets chew bark, missing Caden's head by inches, his breath ragged. They're everywhere! Kira stumbles, blood soaking her hoodie. Keep going. Lawrence fires back, muzzle flashes lighting his grimace. FBI's 10 minutes out. But the shooters close in, radios crackling. 50 grand bounty, dead or alive, Ramsey's orders. The twins sprint, legs burning, crashing through underbrush, the safe house a fading speck as Atlanta's sprawl looms ahead. Lawrence lags, ribs screaming, Hide, I'll hold them. Caden grabs his arm. No way. And they duck into a drainage ditch, mud sucking at their shoes, hearts pounding as flashlights sweep above. The sniper pauses, scope glinting, then retreats, their pursuers melting into the dark, a temporary reprieve. Caden pants. They're not stopping. Kira presses her wound. Ramsey's got cash to burn. Lawrence wipes sweat. He's reinstated, appeals boards corrupt, overturned Ortiz's ruling. The news lands like a gut punch, their lawsuit victory ash. Ramsey's power surging as the manhunt tightens its noose. They crawl from the ditch, dawn breaking grey over the city, cop sirens a constant drone. Caden's hack hangs as their onlys. Edge the payoff list a lifeline if they can survive to use it, but the bounty paints targets on their backs. Every shadow a threat, every friend a potential Judas. Kira's blood drips. We're running out of moves. Lawrence nods. Not yet. But his limp worsens, the trio fraying under Ramsey's relentless grip, the manhunt proving he'll chase them to the ends of Atlanta, his hate a machine that never sleeps. The Decatur basement reeks of damp earth and desperation. A concrete bunker beneath Ms. Torres's modest ranch house, its single bulb casting jittery shadows across the walls 3 nights after the manhunt's sniper graze. Caden and Kira Jackson slump on a sagging cot, their hoodies crusted with mud and blood. Caden's bandaged head pounding as he clutches the hacked laptop, Kira's sling loose, her fresh arm wound, seeping red through a makeshift wrap. Lawrence paces the cramped space, his flannel stained with sweat, ribs taped tight, his limp heavier with each step. Torres'll get us out. Ms. Torres, their debate coach, a fierce Latina with cropped hair and a firebrand streak, kneels. Beside them, her dark eyes sharp. You're safe here, I've got contacts. She'd scooped them from the woods post-ambush, her pickup a lifeline after the ditch escape. Her activist cred a shield they'd clung to. Caden exhales. Thanks, coach, handing her the laptop. Ramsey's payoffs, 10 grand each too. Holt and Perry, it's all there. Kira nods. Leak it, let the world see. Torres takes it, her calloused fingers brushing the keys. I'll hit every news outlet. This ends now. Hope flickers, a fragile flame in the gloom. There, courtroom win burned to ash. But this could reignite the fight. Torres slips upstairs, promising action, and the twins collapse. Exhaustion clawing their bones, Lawrence sinking into a chair. Rest, we've got a shot. Hours blur, the basement a tomb of silence broken by the TV's muffled drone above. WSB's ticker scrolling. Protests erupt over Jackson twins' manhunt. Caden stirs. People believe us. Kira shrugs. Maybe. By dawn, Torres returns, triumphant. It's out. CNN's running the payoffs. Ramsey's suspensions. Back on. The twins bolt up, Caden grinning. We're turning it around. Kira hugs her. You're a legend, coach. Lawrence dials his FBI contact. Check the leak, nail them, and the line buzzes with promise, protests swelling outside precincts, chants echoing through Atlanta's streets. The twins sip water Torres brings, cool relief after days of grit. And for a moment, victory tastes real, Ramsey's empire cracking under public rage. But the water's bitter. A faint tang Caden misses, gulping it down as Kira sips slower, her brow furrowing. Tastes off. Before he can answer, his vision swims, the room tilting. "Kira," he slurs, crashing to the floor, glass shattering. Kira drops hers, dizziness hitting. "Coach, what?" But Torres's face shifts, a cold smirk replacing warmth. "Sorry. Kids," she dials, voice flat. "Holt, they're down, come get 'em." Kira's knees buckle. "No!" As she claws the cot collapsing, the betrayal a sledgehammer to her chest. Lawrence lunges. "You sold us out!" But his ribs scream, slowing him, and Torres kicks him back. 100 grand from Ramsey, worth it. Footsteps thunder above. Holt and Perry bursting in, their boots shaking the stairs, Holt's buzz cut glinting as he grins. "Nice work, Torres." Perry cuffs Lawrence, his wiry frame towering. Judge says finish him. Caden's out cold, drooling on the concrete, and Kira fights the haze. Why? But Torres shrugs. Survival, chica. Holt grabs Kira's braids, dragging her limp body. Her screams muffled as her nails scrape the floor, leaving streaks of blood. Lawrence roars, "Let her go!" But Perry's fist cracks his jaw, silencing him, cuffs biting his wrists. Caden stirs, groggy, eyes fluttering. "Kira!" and spots Holt hauling her up, fury igniting through the drug's fog. He lunges, unsteady, snatching a glass shard from the floor. Its edge biting his palm as he stabs Holt's thigh, blood spurting, a howl ripping from the cop's throat. "You little—" Holt drops Kira, clutching his leg, and Caden scrambles, pulling her to him. "We're getting out!" Perry swings, but Caden ducks, shoving Kira toward the stairs. "Go!" She staggers, head spinning. "Dad!" But Lawrence yells, "Run now!" Torres blocks the exit. Not so fast, but Caden rams her, shoulder slamming her into the wall, a grunt escaping as she crumples. They stumble up, Kira's wound tearing wider, blood dripping, the basement a blur as Holt's radio crackles. Ramsey's voice hissing, "Finish them, no loose ends!" Perry drags Lawrence. "You're next, Judge." "Well," but the twins burst into the night. Decatur's quiet streets a maze under a grey dawn. Sirens wail, close, and Caden pulls Kira behind. A dumpster, her breath ragged. She was family. He nods, not anymore. They crouch, hearts hammering, the leak a hollow win. Torres's 100 grand betrayal splitting them from Lawrence, their last ally turned enemy in a war they can't outrun. Holt's limp slows him, but Perry's boots echo, closing in, and Ramsey's orders burn the air, a death sentence the twins barely dodge, their trust shattered, their fight dangling by a thread. Drop a comment with number 1 if you think Torres's betrayal cuts deeper than Ramsey's hate. Hit like if you're shocked she flipped. And subscribe because the next part's a brutal twist. Will Caden and Kira escape Ramsey's kill order, or is this the end of their run? The abandoned warehouse squats on Atlanta's west side, its rusted walls groaning under a humid July dawn, the air thick with oil and rot as Caden Jackson stumbles through a gaping doorway, his bandaged head pounding, blood trickling from his palm where the glass shard cut deep during the basement escape. Kira limps beside him, her sling gone, arm wounds oozing through her torn hoodie. The R scar a raw brand as she clutches his shoulder, breath ragged from Torres's betrayal and their sprint through Decatur's streets. We lost them. Caden pants, peering into the gloom, broken windows leaking grey light onto cracked concrete, littered with shattered bottles and rat droppings. Kira nods, for now, but her voice trembles. The drug's haze lingering, her legs shaky as they duck behind a stack of rotting crates, the wood splintered and damp. Footsteps echo outside, heavy and deliberate, and Caden's stomach drops. Too late. The warehouse doors screech open, Judge Victor Ramsey striding in, his silver hair glinting under a flickering bulb, suit pristine against the filth, flanked by Holt and Perry, their badges dull with grime, Holt's thigh wrapped. From Caden's stab, Perry's cuffs dangling like a hunter's prize. Ramsey's lips curl. "Found you." his voice a venomous purr as he snaps his fingers. Bring them. Holt lunges, meaty hands yanking Caden from the crates, slamming him face first into the floor, concrete biting his cheek as blood pools from his reopened lip. Kira kicks, "Get off!" But Perry grabs her braids, twisting hard, dragging her beside Caden, her knees scraping raw as she screams, the sound bouncing off the walls. Ramsey towers over them, unhinged, eyes wild with hate. "Thought you'd ruin me. Your dad's finished, and you're next." He nods, and Holt hauls Caden up, chaining his wrists to a rusted pipe overhead, the metal creaking as his arms stretch, shoulders burning. Perry binds Kira to a chair, her ankles shackled, the steel cold against her skin, her wounded arm throbbing as blood drips onto the floor. Ramsey paces. "You don't belong in my city," and pulls a hose from a corner, its nozzle dripping. As Holt cranks a valve, water blasting Caden's face, icy and relentless, flooding his nose and mouth. He chokes, thrashing, "Stop!" But Ramsey laughs. "Not yet, boy," holding it till Caden's gasps turn to gurgles, his lungs screaming, vision blackening before the stream cuts off, leaving him coughing, water streaming from his chin. Kira's eyes blaze. "You're a monster!" And Ramsey spins, grabbing a cattle prod from Perry, its tip sparking as he jams it into her side, electricity searing her ribs, her scream a jagged wail as her body convulses, chair rocking. "Monster! I'm justice," he snarls, zapping her again, her teeth clenching, tears mixing with sweat. Holt steps in. "My turn," and yanks a knife from his belt, its blade glinting as he carves H into Caden's forearm, slow and deep, blood welling as Caden bites back a yell. "You'll pay!" Perry follows, etching P into Kira's thigh, her jeans shredding. Her cry roars as the steel bites. "Why us?" Ramsey smirks. "Because I can." He pulls a phone. Live streams on, millions watching, and angles it, the twins' torment glowing on a cracked screen, comments flooding, "Street justice." "And finish them." Caden's head lolls. "They see you." But Ramsey grins. "They see what I want," framing it as vigilante revenge, the world blind to his badge. The torture escalates, Holt dunking Caden's head in a barrel, water closing over him, bubbles rising as he thrashes, held under till his chest burns, yanked out gasping. Perry shocks Kira's neck, volts sizzling her skin, her voice hoarse. "Dad'll—" But Ramsey cuts her off. He's too late. Lawrence, 10 miles away, storms the FBI field office, slamming Caden's hacked payoff list on a desk. "They're dying. Move." Agent Ruiz nods. "We've got a signal," tracing the stream, choppers spooling up as he rallies a team, but time's bleeding out. Ramsey smirks. One last trick and unveils a bomb under Kira's chair, wires snaking to a timer, 10 minutes ticking down, red digits glaring. "Breach and it blows," he says, tapping the phone, the live feed zooming on it, viewers screaming online, "Holy crap!" Caden strains, chains rattling. "You're insane!" Ramsey kneels, face inches from his "I'm winning," and punches his gut, air rushing out as Kira sobs. "Caden." Holt kicks her chair. Shut it," the timer at 9 minutes 8 seconds. Perry grins. No one's coming, but chopper blades hum faint in the distance, hope a whisper against the bomb's tick. Ramsey steps back. "Enjoy the show." And the stream spikes, millions helpless as the twins hang in chains and shackles, water dripping, blood pooling, racial slurs carved into their flesh, the warehouse a stage for his rage. Caden locks eyes with Kira. "We're not done," and she nods, voice breaking, "Never." But the timer hits 8 minutes. The bombs beep a death knell, Ramsey's power absolute, his hate a live wire sparking through the city, their lives a spectacle teetering on the edge. The warehouse pulses with dread under a grey Atlanta dawn, its rusted walls trembling as chopper blades slice the humid air. The timer under Kira Jackson's chair ticking down to 4 minutes, 32 seconds, red digits glaring in the flickering light. Caden hangs from chains, wrists raw, water dripping from his soaked hoodie, the H carved into his arm, oozing blood onto the cracked concrete. Kira slumps in her shackles, breath shallow, the P on her thigh, a jagged wound beneath. Shredded jeans, her body twitching from electric shocks. The live stream phone propped on a crate beaming their torment to millions. Judge Victor Ramsey paces, silver hair wild, suit stained with their blood, his smirk feral as he watches the clock. No one's saving you. Holt limps beside him, thigh bandaged from Caden's stab, grinning through gritted teeth, while Perry twirls his knife, eyes glinting. Time's up, punks. Caden's voice rasps. You're done, Ramsey, but the judge laughs. Not yet, tapping the bomb's casing. Its beep, a relentless pulse. Outside, chopper lights stab through broken windows. FBI agent Ruiz barking into a radio. Breach in 30. As Lawrence Jackson storms the perimeter, his flannel torn, ribs screaming, "They're in there, move!" Sirens wail, SWAT vans, screeching to a halt, boots pounding as a dozen agents swarm, rifles up. Ruiz shouting, "Bomb squad now!" Inside, Ramsey hears the chaos. Too late, and kicks Caden's ribs, a crack echoing as he gasps, chains rattling. Kira's eyes flutter. "Dad." But Perry zaps her neck again, volts sizzling, her scream fading to a whimper. The timer hits 2 minutes, 18 seconds, and the warehouse doors explode inward, hinges shredding as flashbangs detonate, smoke billowing, blinding Holt, who stumbles. "What the—" Ramsey spins. "No!" But agents flood in, vests gleaming. FBI hands up. Lawrence charges through, pistol drawn, spotting the twins. "Caden!" "Kira?" Caden groans. "Bomb, Dad." And Ruiz dives for it, a wiry tech beside him. 2 minutes. Ramsey bolts, shoving Perry. "Cover me!" and slips into the shadows, Holt firing wild, bullets chewing concrete as agents return fire, one grazing his shoulder, blood spraying. Perry swings his knife, but an agent tackles him, cuffs snapping tight. "Down, scumbag!" Ruiz's tech snips wires, sweat beading. "Red or blue?" As the timer hits 30 seconds, Caden shouting, "Hurry!" Kira's head lolls. "Please!" And with 6 seconds left, the tech cuts blue, the beep dying, the bomb silenced. Lawrence rips Caden's chains free, metal clanking, and Caden collapses into his arms. "You made it." Agents unshackle Kira, her body slumping as Lawrence catches her. "I've got you," tears streaking his soot-streaked face. Holt's pinned, cursing, "Ramsey'll bury you." But Ramsey's gone, a ghost in the chaos, the live stream cutting to static, millions gasping online. Medics rush in, stretchers rattling, loading the twins, their scars and blood a roadmap of survival. Caden's pulse weak, Kira's breath shallow but steady. By noon, they're in Grady Memorial's ICU, IVs dripping, monitors beeping, Erica still critical 2 rooms down, the family fractured but alive. Lawrence sits between them, hands trembling. "You're safe now," but his voice cracks. Ramsey's escape a dagger in his gut. News vans swarm outside, WSB blaring, "Twins rescued, Ramsey flees." The stream backfires, viral clips showing Ramsey's face, his knife, his slurs, sparking riots downtown, protesters smashing precinct windows, "Justice for the Jacksons," trending as millions see the truth. Holt and Perry crack in custody, spilling Ramsey's orders, the gun, the ambush, the bomb. Their taped confessions hitting airwaves by dusk. "He paid us to end them." Caden stirs. They're talking, and Kira nods. Finally. Lawrence grips their hands. "We've got leverage." By night, colleges call, Duke's dean on speaker. "We're reinstating your offers. Your resilience is unmatched." And Emery echoes, "Kira, you're med school material." Caden grins, back on track, and Kira exhales. Almost. The hospital room glows with hope, their scars aired on news as badges of defiance, Ramsey's empire crumbling under public rage. But at midnight, a courier slips a package to Lawrence, a thick envelope stinking of ink and menace, his hands shaking as he tears it open. Ramsey's manifesto, typed in jagged caps. "This is a race war. The twins die first." Mailed to every judge in Georgia, 50 copies flooding the system. Caden's eyes widen. He's insane. And Kira clutches her sheet. He's not done. Lawrence crumples it. He's a fugitive. He's got nothing left. But the words burn. A promise of terror from a man unbowed, his hate a wildfire. Spreading beyond the warehouse. The riots grow. Atlanta's streets ablaze with fury and fear. Cops scrambling as Ramsey's allies vanish, his manifesto a rallying cry for the shadows. Caden and Kira heal, bandages fresh but sleep eludes them. The hospital a fortress under guard, their rescue a hollow win, Ramsey's threat looming larger than the bomb, a vow to finish what he started, their lives dangling on a thread he's still pulling. The Morehouse and Spelman College's joint graduation hums with joy under a blazing May sun, 10 months after the warehouse torture. Atlanta's air thick with promise and the sweet tang of magnolias as Caden and Kira Jackson stand in line, black, caps perched atop their heads, gold honor cords glinting against their gowns. Caden's scars peek from his sleeve, the H faded but etched, his law school acceptance from Duke a weight in his pocket, while Kira's P hides beneath. Her Emory med school future sealed, her arm healed but stiff. They've clawed back from the brink, Ramsey a fugitive since the manifesto. His hate militia whispers fading under FBI sweeps, their family stitched together with Erica's slow recovery, home rebuilt in Vinings. The auditorium buzzes, 600. Grads packed tight, families cheering from tiered seats, Lawrence and Erica beaming in the third row, his flannel swapped for a suit, her wheelchair a testament to survival. Caden nudges Kira. We made it, and she grins, against all odds. The ceremony rolls, names echoing, applause thundering as they wait, caps adjusted, futures bright. But Caden's eyes catch a glint, a flicker on the balcony rail. What's that? He squints, a rifle scope winking, and his gut twists. Kira, snipers. She spins, spotting another. Ramsey? Before they can shout, she bolts for the fire alarm, yanking it, a shrill wail piercing the air, grads scattering as panic erupts. Get out! Caden yells, shoving peers toward exits, gowns flapping like wings. Smoke grenades detonate. Grey. Clouds choking the room. Screams rising as gunfire cracks. Bullets ripping banners, splintering chairs. A dozen masked militia swarm from the wings. Ramsey at their helm. Silver hair wild, a pistol gleaming in his grip. His manifesto's race war unleashed. Jacksons! He roars, voice cutting through the chaos, and Caden dives, pulling. A freshman behind a podium. Stay down! Kira ducks. Dad! Spotting Lawrence charging the stage, his limp, forgotten pistol drawn from a concealed holster. The auditorium's a battlefield, grads trampling, parents wailing, snipers picking shots, a dean collapsing, blood pooling on the dais. Ramsey fires, grazing Caden's shoulder, a hot sting as he rolls. You're dead! Kira grabs a mic stand, swinging at a thug, cracking his jaw. Not today. But another tackles her, pinning her, his boot grinding her wrist, snapping bone. Lawrence leaps, slamming Ramsey, fists pounding. You've lost! And disarms. Him, the pistol skittering across the stage. Caden scrambles up, phone out, live streaming to his hacked precinct feed. Ramsey's here now. Broadcasting the ringleader's face, his militia exposed, viewers spiking to thousands in seconds. Cops flood in, sirens blaring, SWAT shields clashing with militia knives, bullets flying as Ramsey's men drop, some cuffed, others bleeding out. Lawrence pins Ramsey. It's over. But Ramsey grins, pulling a blade from his boot. Not for you, and stabs deep into Lawrence's gut, blood gushing as he twists, a guttural yell ripping free. Caden screams, Dad! Dropping the phone, rushing the stage, Kira crawling, no! Ramsey shoves Lawrence off, his body slumping, eyes glazing as blood soaks his gown, the auditorium's chaos, a blur around him. Caden tackles Ramsey, fists, hammering, you bastard! But Ramsey elbows free, slipping through a side door as SWAT closes in, his laugh echoing over the hacked PA. You'll never win. Kira reaches Lawrence, cradling his head. Stay with me. But his breath rattles, hands clutching hers. Keep fighting. Fading to a whisper, gone. Caden collapses beside her, sobbing, blood smearing their gowns. The live stream cutting as cops swarm, dozens arrested, Ramsey's militia crumbling, but their leader vanished into Atlanta's sprawl. The auditorium empties, grads shell-shocked, medics rushing, too late for Lawrence, his badge stained red on the floor. Caden and Kira cling to him, tears cutting tracks through soot, their triumph gutted, Ramsey's final strike stealing their father on the day they reclaimed their lives. his escape a wound deeper than any scar, the PA's cackle a taunt they'll never unhear. The Atlanta sky hangs heavy with grey clouds on a crisp November morning, 6 months after the Morehouse Spelman graduation massacre. The air sharp with the bite of late fall as Caden and Kira Jackson stand shoulder to shoulder at Lawrence Jackson's graveside, their black coats flapping in a gust that rattles the bare oaks lining Oakland Cemetery. Caden, now 18, grips a wilted rose, its thorns pricking his scarred palm. The H from Holt's knife a faint ridge under his sleeve, his eyes red-rimmed but dry, hardened by months of grief and sleepless nights plotting revenge. Kira, beside him, clutches a folded program, her P-scar hidden beneath her slacks, her wrist still tender from the militia's boot, her face a mask of quiet fury, med school looming at Emory next fall, a dream she'll chase without her father's. Proud nod. The crowd's small 30 mourners in dark attire. Erica in a wheelchair at the front, her burns healed into shiny patches across her arms, her recovery a miracle from the gas blast that nearly took her, her eyes locked on the mahogany casket. As it lowers into the earth, a federal judge's badge pinned to its lid, dulled by time and blood. The preacher's voice drones, "Ashes to ashes," but Caden tunes it out, staring at the headstone. Lawrence Jackson, 1975-2025, justice served. The irony twisting his gut, Ramsey's knife strike at graduation, a wound that justice couldn't heal. Kira whispers, "He'd hate this," and Caden nods. Too quiet for Dad. The dirt thuds onto the coffin, each shovelful a hammer blow, and Erica's shoulders shake, her sob muffled by a gloved hand. The family fractured, their rebuilt Vinings home a hollow shell without his booming laugh. Mourners drift away, colleagues, murmuring condolences. He was a fighter, and Ramsey'll pay. But Caden's ears burn, the words empty as the FBI's manhunt drags on. Victor Ramsey a ghost since the auditorium, his militia scattered, his manifesto a lingering poison. In Atlanta's underbelly, Kira kneels, pressing the program into the soil. "We're not done, Dad," her voice steel, and Caden drops the rose. "Not till he's in the ground." They stand, a silent vow sealing their pact. Law school and med school ahead. Duke and Emory waiting, funded by Lawrence's life insurance. A bitter silver lining to his loss. Their scars a map to a fight they'll finish, no matter the cost. Back home, the living room's dim. Curtains drawn, the rebuilt walls smelling of fresh paint and regret. Caden slumping on the couch. Kira pacing, their coats shed, the weight of the day pressing down. A TV hums low, WSB replaying graduation. Footage, Ramsey's silver hair flashing as he stabs Lawrence, the livestream Caden shot a viral scar on the city. Protests long faded, but rage still simmering. A package sits on the coffee table, delivered that morning, no return address, and Caden eyes it. From him? Kira nods. "Bet it is," and rips it open, a USB drive tumbling out, its black casing glinting like a taunt. She plugs it into the laptop, Caden leaning in. What's he playing at? The screen flares, Ramsey's face filling it, his silver hair unkempt, eyes wild, a grainy basement backdrop. "Hello, twins," his voice a rasp. "Thought I'd forgotten you?" Caden's fists clench. "Bastard." And Kira's breath. "Hitches, keep talking." Ramsey smirks. "Your dad's gone, your mum's a cripple, and you're next. I've got eyes everywhere, this war's mine." The video loops, encrypted, untraceable, a taunt mailed from the shadows, his hate a live wire sparking through their grief. Caden slams the laptop shut. "He's mocking us," and Kira nods. "He's close. I feel it." The room tightens. Ramsey's reach a noose they can't shake. His militia remnants lurking, the FBI stalled, their vow of fire stoked by every word he spits. Erica wheels in, her face pale but firm. "What's that?" Caden hesitates. "Ramsey," and she nods. "Play it again." They do, his taunts echoing, and Erica's eyes narrow, a glint Caden misses. He's desperate. Kira frowns. Or winning. But Erica's silence hangs, heavy with something unspoken, her hands steady on the chair's arms, no tremor despite the burns. Night falls, the house quiet, Caden in his room sketching legal briefs, Duke's first semester, Looming, Kira in hers, poring over anatomy texts, Emery's labs a month away. Their future's a lifeline they grip through the pain. At 2 a.m., a creak pulls them to the hall, Erica's wheelchair gone, her room empty. "Mum?" Caden calls, panic rising, and Kira checks the garage. "Car's here." They find her in the living room, standing, no chair, a duffel at her feet, her burns hidden under a black jacket. "Sit down, we need to talk." Caden blinks. "You're walking?" And Kira gasps, "What's going on?" Erica locks the door, voice low. "I've been undercover with the FBI since the explosion." The twins freeze, Caden's jaw dropping. "What?" And Kira stammers, "You were in ICU." Erica nods. "Faked it mostly. Burns were real, but I played worse. Infiltrated Ramsey's network while he thought I was out." She unzips the duffel, pulling a flash drive, its silver casing gleaming. Coordinates to his hideout, North Georgia. He's holed up with 10 loyalists. Caden's head spins. "You're a mole." And Kira grabs the drive. "How long?" Erica's eyes harden. "Since the gas blast, I fed intel, waited for this." The revelation crashes, their mom a ghost in their war, her wheelchair a prop, her recovery a lie to bait Ramsey's trust. Caden paces. "You let us think you were dying." And Erica flinches. "Had to, for your safety, his too." Kira's voice cracks. "Dad didn't know." Erica shakes her head. "No one did till now." The room reels, grief twisting, into shock. Their mother's frailty a mask, her strength a weapon they'd missed. Ramsey's taunts a misstep she'd turned against him. Caden grabs the drive. "We're ending this," and Kira nods. "Tonight." Erica grips their arms. "Not yet, you're not trained. I've got a team moving in." But Caden pulls free. "He killed Dad. We're not waiting." Kira's eyes blaze. "We've got the cords, we can finish it." Erica blocks the door. "You're my kids, not soldiers." But Caden's voice cuts. "We stopped being kids when he burned our house." The standoff crackles, Erica's resolve wavering, her undercover steel bending under their fire, and she relents. "Then you follow my lead." She pulls a phone, texting Ruiz. "Targets live, twins with me," and gears up, a pistol holstered. "We drive, 2 hours, north." Caden and Kira grab coats, no hesitation, the flash drive a torch in their hands. Ramsey's hideout a beacon they'll storm, their vow at the grave a pulse driving them forward. The Toyota roars to life, Erica behind the wheel, her burns no barrier. The twins in back, Caden mapping cords, Kira loading a spare clip Erica hands her. Just in case. Atlanta fades, highways giving way to winding roads, pine forests looming under a starless sky. The hideout's coordinates ticking closer, a cabin in the Blue Ridge foothills, Ramsey's last stand. Erica's voice steadies. "He thinks I'm broken, that's our edge." And Caden nods. "He's wrong." Kira's fingers tighten on the gun. "Dead wrong." They park a mile out, creeping through underbrush, twigs snapping, the cabin's lights faint through trees, militia shadows. Moving inside, Ramsey's silver hair a silhouette at a window. Erica whispers, "FBI's 10 minutes behind, we scout." But Caden's eyes lock on Ramsey. There he is, and Kira's breath catches. "We can take him." The tension coils, their mothers twist a blade they wield, her undercover. Months a gift they'll cash in, Ramsey's taunts a fuel they'll burn, the war not over but theirs to end. Erica hands them the drive. "Evidence, use it if I don't make it." And they nod, eyes blazing, stepping into the dark, the screen, fading to black as they close in, a hunt unresolved, their fight a roar echoing into the void. The saga of Caden and Kira Jackson unveils a raw tapestry of lessons, woven through their relentless battle against systemic racism and personal vendettas. First, resilience emerges as a cornerstone. The twins faced brutal arrests, false accusations, and physical torment, yet their spirit never broke. Their journey teaches that strength isn't just enduring pain, but turning it into fuel for justice, a beacon for anyone crushed by prejudice to keep fighting. Caden's hacked evidence and Kira's defiance under torture show how ingenuity and courage can shift the tides, even when the odds stack high. Second, the story exposes the insidious depth of institutional bias. Judge Victor Ramsey's unchecked power, bolstered by corrupt cops like Holt and Perry, reveals how racism festers in systems meant to protect. It's a stark reminder that authority can cloak hatred, and vigilance is crucial to dismantle it, urging us to question those who wield influence without accountability. Third, trust's fragility cuts deep. Ms. Torres's betrayal for $100,000 underscores that allies can flip when greed or fear take hold, teaching the twins, and us to guard their circle fiercely, to weigh loyalty against motive. Erica's undercover twist flips this, proving trust can also hide strength, a mother's sacrifice masked as weakness to strike at the enemy's heart. Fourth, justice is a marathon, not a sprint. The twins' courtroom wins crumbled under Ramsey's retaliations, from the gas explosion to the militia attack, showing that legal victories mean little without uprooting the roots of hate. Lawrence's death at graduation hammers this home, a sacrifice demanding action beyond mourning, pushing Caden and Kira to carry his torch. Finally, the power of exposure shines. Caden's live streams flipped Ramsey's narrative, turning millions into witnesses, proving truth can pierce lies when amplified, a lesson in wielding technology to hold power accountable. Yet, Ramsey's escape and manifesto warn that evil adapts, lurking to strike again, a call to stay relentless. This tale isn't just theirs, it's ours, a mirror to society's flaws and a map to fight them. The twins' scars are badges of survival, their vow a rallying cry. Racism may bend you, but you can bend it back harder. Erica's final gambit, handing them Ramsey's coordinates, leaves us on edge, a testament that the war's not won, but the weapons are in hand. What will you take from their fire? Now let's hear from you. What lesson hit you hardest? Resilience, betrayal, or the fight for justice? Drop a comment below. Hit like if this story stirred your soul, and subscribe for more tales of grit and truth. Share this with someone who needs to see it, because stories like these spark change. Thanks for joining this journey. May you find strength to face your own battles and chase justice wherever it leads.